What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about an MLB superstar that is extremely undervalued and underrated because of the high expectations that he had entering the season. As you guys can see on the screen, today we're going to be talking about Juan Soto, the 22-year-old outfielder for the Washington Nationals. Now, this is a guy that's been a high-profile player ever since his rookie season. He was one of those first guys that he just made the jump straight from Double A to the pros, and he was probably the first guy to be extremely successful in it as of late. And he already has been an All-Star. He's won a World Series. He's won a Silver Slugger and a batting title. He's going to be an All-Star pretty much every year of his career, I would assume. He's just that type of player that's consistently getting a high average, and he is hitting, he's hit for 30 plus home runs in a season. And I think that's the one thing that has really shocked people this year is he's not hitting as many home runs as we expected. Although as of late he's caught on fire and people are yet to take notice, which is why I think he's a great player to invest in. Now, going over his stats, this year he is currently hitting 302. He has 16 home runs with 54 RBIs, and he is just at 360 at bats, and he's over halfway compared to his last full season, in which he hit for 282. A lot of people forget, he wasn't this super high average hitter until the shortened season last year, and his stats could have completely fallen off, so people are forgetting that. But in that year, he did hit for over double the amount of home runs he has now, and we are over halfway done with the season, as well as just over double the amount of RBIs, although his strikeouts are extremely low this year, which is something he's always been very good with, but this is just insane. To have 64 strikeouts, or 64 walks and only 55 strikeouts, that's crazy. That's why he has an insanely high on-base percentage, as well as a really good OPS. His slugging's pretty good as well. I mean, overall, he's just the cream of the crop for MLB superstars, and he's definitely in that superstar conversation. Although he's not as high profile of a player because of his ability defensively, making crazy catches or great plays like Ronald Acuna, or just being that high profile player like Acuna or Tatis. Soto is one of the better hitters in the MLB. And I definitely think he's in that probably top 5, at least top 10 conversation. And because of his lack of, power to us in a sense, he's just not talked about like many other people. However, he actually believes, and in this article, he believes that the home run derby actually helped him. And so a lot of people have always said going in the home run derby, it actually hurts you and it makes you swing a different way than you would normally swing. And that's why I think somebody, I don't remember who it is, maybe Vlad, he decided not to be in the home run derby this year because of how well he's playing. He didn't want to ruin his swing. However, Soto believes that it's actually helped him. He's already hit 5 home runs in 5 games since the All-Star break. He had 11 prior to that, so maybe something's fixed in his swing. Maybe he's changed it a little, where he is, going to become more of a power hitter, and he's not going to be hitting as many ground balls. Off the top of my head, I can't think of the word, but his launch angle, maybe that's a little bit higher now. Who knows? But obviously something's changed when he decided to play in the home run derby. He upset Shohei in the first round, which was very surprising. Many people thought Shohei would just destroy everyone, and hopefully that's going to help Soto out. And he even said going into the All-Star break that he hoped the home run derby, as you can see here, would help his swing because he was hitting so many ground balls. Maybe he was, trying to make contact and thinking the power will come later, and he's kind of swinging down on the ball. I mean, who knows? He's an MLB player, so it was just a little bit of a switch that he needed to make, and hopefully that continues on with after the All-Star break. We're only 5 games past it, so hopefully this continues. But in these 5 games since the All-Star break, I'm highlighting them for you. Or it's now 6 games actually. He has had 23 at bats. He's 12 of 23 with 5 home runs, which is phenomenal. He has a 5.22 average and a 1.26 slugging and a 1.8 OPS. That's just phenomenal. His batting average on balls in play is just under 500. this guy is phenomenal after the All-Star break. So hopefully this means that he is going to continue on this trend, and I think he might be a potential MVP candidate if he keeps playing the way he is, because his average already was pretty high. Now, if we look at his Topps update, and this is his gold version, which is numbered to the year. So his is numbered to 2018, and the player we're going to look at next is Mike Trout, whose is numbered to 2011. Last sold for $1,500. It is down $1,800 over the past 3 months. That's how much he's dropped because people thought he was going to be a shoo-in for MVP. And I think his price could get back up to that $2,500 mark very shortly if he continues on this trend, which is why I'm buying him. And that's a player that I'm going to be looking for at the National. Now, the one thing that that Mike Trout has going for him over Juan Soto is that Soto's pop is a 190, whereas Mike Trout's is a 50. That's why Trout's goes for 25,000 and Soto's goes for 1,500. Although, sure, Trout is one of probably up there in the best players in baseball history, Soto could be at that mark. A lot of people were comparing him to Mike Trout after his season he had last year, where he hit what was it, 350 in the shortened season? Yeah, 351 with 13 home runs. A lot of people thought he'd continue that this year and have a season similar to Trout. And I think people have forgotten about Soto because of how well Shohei's done, how well Vlad's done, and how well Acuna was doing. People have kind of pushed Soto aside, and I don't think he deserves that. Now, the one knock that we have against Soto, and we can actually look at the PSA 9 for Trout as well. I want to see the BGS 9.5 pop, and that's the one thing I love about Card Ladder. You can see the population reports as well. This last sold for 12,000, and the PSA 9, which has a pop of 118, last sold for 7K, which is still almost 5 times the amount of Soto's PSA 10. Now, the pop is higher for Soto's PSA 10 than it is for Trout's PSA 9 because of how old Trout's was. But I think in a few years that's not going to matter as much when the pop count's going to be sub 200. It's going to be crazy low for this card. You could even look at some of the other ones. You see the Hands on Hips, which is a short printed card, which is going for roughly $1,500, the exact same amount as it's pretty much going for the exact same as the gold PSA 10, yet the gold PSA 10 has a population of 190, whereas the Hands on Hips is 80 more at 270. Even the Rainbow Foil has a pop of 350, and it's only going for $500 less. So I think this gold is the best variation of his Topps update cards that you can get while still spending under $2,000. The one knock, though, against Soto is the team that he's on. He already has that World Series title, which not many people thought he'd get on the Nationals, that Trout still is looking for, and a lot of these superstars still don't have, albeit they are very young, but Soto is as well. Soto's one of these younger superstars because he made the jump, and I read actually, it was from single A to the pros. That's unheard of. Like, nobody does that, and so the Nationals, props to them for thinking of that, but their team is not very good. Now, I want to look at their players because if you look at who they're starting, you've got two phenomenal superstars on your offense in Trey Turner and Juan Soto. Starlin Castro's a very good role player. He's playing pretty well. Robles has not met his potential, which is very tough for them. Josh Bell, they traded for him. He could still be a guy that helps them win games, but they also have, a pretty good pitching core in Scherzer. I think Strasburg's hurt. Lester's a good 4 or 5. Patrick Corbin's a pretty good 3. And Joe Ross is a pretty young guy, I'm pretty sure. So that team has a lot of potential still, even though they've already won that World Series. They didn't have to trade away many prospects like the Cubs did, which has just totally hurt them in the years after. The Nationals still have a really strong core. I don't know how their top prospects are looking. We could actually look that up right now and see how the Nationals are looking in the future, because I think this is a team that has a lot of potential in the next 2 years. I think it's going to have to be around there for them to win a World Series, and I think that would really boost Soto's value again if they win a World Series. Here you have two right-handed pitchers, 6'8" for Jackson Rutledge. Wow. who are both expected up in 2022. See, a lot of these top prospects for them are pitchers, which should help them considering Strasburg and Scherzer are kind of getting up in age. Hopefully, Antuna's supposed to be a really good prospect. He should help out. Jeremy De La Rosa is a really good player as well. So they've got some hitting prospects that could make that jump like Soto did. I want to see how Antuna is actually playing because I know he's a very highly touted prospect. This year he is struggling. As you can see, he really was a big prospect after his rookie ball in 2017, and he's slowly gotten worse. He hasn't found the same ability to hit for average. You can see his on-base percentage has just tanked, even though the slugging's very close. So that's something he'll have to look to fix if he wants to make it in the pros. But the two guys that I really like seeing, even their three guys, are their top three prospects, all pitchers who all should help with depth. Because as of this point in time, we're seeing this with the Giants this year, pitching wins games. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think Soto's a really good buy? I think this gold version right here of him is the best buy you could make currently. I think this is probably the best short-term buy you can make in sports cards right now, at least in the baseball market. Football, there might be some guys, and you've heard me talk about them. Make sure to watch my other videos if you want to know who I'm thinking is going to be a very high-profile player this year in football, but I think Soto's a really good buy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.